Being a successful manager and being a successful leader isn't just about the amount of paper pushing that you do, the amount of barking orders that you do to your peers. It's all about understanding how you operate and how the others operate around you. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of knowing the personality traits between yourself and others. The best way to really get to know how your workers work and how they operate and how they best receive information is simply through personality tests. Now, I'm not just telling you to go pick up a Cosmo magazine and take the test out of there, but what I am telling you is that the Big 5 personality test, as well as the Myers-Briggs type inventory, are the best ways to really get to know the people around you. Now, with the Big 5 test, I've had the pleasure of taking it both in my work environment and at school, and I can honestly say that the managers and professors that took the time to really get to know and get to understand their students and their workers around them, we had a better line of communication because everybody knew how to deliver and receive information that was given to them. Now, I really do like the way that the Myers-Briggs type inventory is laid out. However, I haven't had the chance to take it because it isn't as easily accessible as the Big 5 test, but I still would like to go over it today. Now, starting with the Big 5 test, it scores you on a high and low scale. So on the left side of the screen, you're going to see the low scale of everything, and on the right side of the screen, you'll see the high scale. So the Big 5 test focuses on neuroticism, extroversion, openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. Now, starting with neuroticism, that's going to decide if you're overall a calm or you're an anxious person. Moving on to extroversion, it decides on how you best get your ideas, whether it's internal or external. So it's going to really decide if you're a quiet person or talkative. Next is openness, which decides on how open you are to new experiences. So you're either practical or you're curious. And then we have agreeableness, which is how forgiving and trusting you are of others. So again, cynical or you're forgiving. And then finally, we have conscientiousness, which is overall how organized you are. So you're either careless or you're organized. Now, in the Big 5 test, I find myself at one end of the scale or the other. It's very rare that I'm somewhere in the middle, but I will say that each time that I take the test, I'm more conscious of my surroundings, and I have been working on my personality and kind of how I use my information. And I get closer and closer to where I would prefer to be. That way I'm kind of just a little bit more versatile. Now, moving on to the Myers-Briggs test, I do really like the way that it's laid out because it's laid out on 4 dimensions, and again, it's on a scale of 1 and 2. Starting with their introversion and extroversion, again, it decides on whether you're an introverted person or an extroverted, you're going to be talkative or you're quiet. And then we have intuition and sensing, which decides on how you gather your data. So you're either very fact-oriented or you like abstract ideas and putting the picture together yourself. And then you need to learn how to use that information, and that's where thinking and feeling comes in the test. That decides on whether you make your decisions with your head or with your heart. Again, fact-oriented or feelings-based. And then the very last dimension is going to be perceiving and judging, which again, fact-oriented or feeling-oriented. It decides on how you see the world and how you really approach things. So both tests are both very crucial in the work environment, in the school environment, and any kind of group project because you need to understand how to best deliver your information so it's best received by the people receiving it. Leaders who take the time to really understand how information is received and how people project it onto themselves is going to make you a successful leader, and it's going to make the work environment so much better. Thank you.